So what's the deal? Are you a free agent now or what?
Not yet. They're running their business however they run their business, right? And I have to run my business however I run my business. They had their kind of chance to, figure out things and get it done before the fight. And they wanted to wait, that's their prerogative. Obviously, probably a smart business move would to maybe test free agency and see because we got to this point now. I'm fighting against young fucking guys, and I'm not just like hanging in there. I'm finishing, and I'm looking like the better athlete out there.
I think like let's say you
Mhm.
resign, you got a title fight waiting, fucking you becoming the Bellator champ sounds kind of crazy to me.
Yeah, I'd be fucking nuts, right? Nothing that was like, oh shit, this guy is crazy. It just grinded him out. It's kind of boring. Not exciting. Not exciting for sure. This is the thing, man. I'm open to whatever. Well, I'm not open to whatever. Bare knuckle is off the table. I'm for sure open to UFC. Like I didn't leave on bad terms.
Pay Lorenz Larkin. This guy's been in the game forever. Deserves
Right
to get
now,
paid. Yeah, pay
I
Lorenz.
deserve it.
All right, so I'm joined once again by Lorenz Larkin. Welcome back, man. How have you been?
Good, man. Just been chilling. I just gotta train in just so people are like, they think I'm some fucking Donahar. I'm just wearing rash guards just randomly.
No, literally, you were sweating a minute ago, so we let you
Yeah,
dry
yeah,
off
yeah.
first. Okay, so I guess first thing I got for you is after Bellator San Diego, right? Big win, big win. Congratulations.
Thank you.
How's everything kind of coming off of that? You still riding that high a little bit because it was a big knockout, or you kind of has it worn off now?
It's gone now, man. It just like I always just it's just like a time in just time in history. You know what I mean? Like it was good, and now it's just like I just move on. You know.
How long does it usually last for? Like the excitement, like a week or something like that, or
I think like a week. Yeah, that's pretty accurate. Like I, you know, yeah, I would say about a week, other than if somebody hasn't seen me and then they're like, hey, congrats, then I'm talking and then obviously then it gets brought up again. But for the most part, from with me, it's like a week.
okay, got you. And how did this win feel as far as like, was it a big one for you? And like, I don't know, I was there, so I saw you with your family and your young daughter and stuff like that in Bellator San Diego. So just kind of curious, like how you took it. Like, was this a big one for you?
Man, it's so funny, man. This is that it's it was kind of eerie because this is like the exact same thing that happened when I was with the UFC. It's literally almost to the T, of like how it happened, So it was crazy, On my last fight with UFC, it was, I mean, obviously, like I know what was going on. You know what I mean? I was the older guy going against the young, you know, up and comer, and you know, if it worked how it was supposed to work, you know what I mean? It was the younger guy getting the name off of me and, putting me away. And, that's kind of what I felt like, back then I wasn't even in, was I in, I'm not even sure if I was in the top 20, if they even had, oh, no, I think I was in the I was in the top 20 when I left one of my last fight in the UFC. And then they matched me up with the number 6 at the time, and then obviously, I won that fight and then left or went into free agency, and so that was the same way with this, how I felt. It was the young, hungry lion, and then versus the older hungry lion, and then on the last fight of my contract. So it was crazy. It felt real similar.
Did you have an extra chip on your shoulder going into this one then, with all that stuff kind of being on you again?
It's like I almost feel like not so much a chip, but I feel like I got an insider tip, on the situation. That's how I go into it, feeling like I just feel like I'm about to spoil the party for a lot of motherfuckers. That's how I
Okay.
feel.
Especially because you probably been through it before, right? So you're like, I got this one kind of. Was there
Uh,
any doubt at all though? I mean, you got to have maybe a little bit, or do you tell me?
I mean, the thing of it is like you always there's always like it's a fight, right?
Right.
So
The unknown is
I,
always there.
yeah, exactly. But you just go in knowing that. With me, I always just going in knowing I had a good ass camp. I'm fucking conditioned to the max. It doesn't matter how the fight goes. I'm not gonna. My gas tank isn't gonna go. So all I need to do is just perform. You know what I mean? And I think with the career I've had and the experience I've had, I've gone with the best of the best. You know what I mean? So I know my skill is there. So all I got to do is just put it on display and use it right. You know. So I think that when you have your doubts, but then you go back into your bag and you're like, well, you are a top fighter. You have fought the best. You've been in situations like this before. Let's just go out there and perform. You know, so you always have to fucking talk and talk, you know, throughout your mind. So it's just a part of the game.
Yeah. And I guess that's where the training comes in, right? When you check off all those boxes, you don't miss your training and stuff like that, and you dedicate yourself, then you're able to combat the bad thoughts maybe a little easier.
Exactly, man. That's why
Right.
I hate when I see fighters, they're like, oh, I don't get nervous. I know I don't get nervous before a fight. Like that shit's bullshit, man. I don't give a fuck who you are. Everybody gets nervous. Everybody gets nervous. Like you're fucking liars. The only reason why a newer fighter, the nerves take over, like I say with time, right? With experience, the more you're in this situation, you get that feeling of it's fight time, right? That's the only time you get that certain feeling. But the only difference is the more you do it, the more you talk to yourself like, like I know I got that feeling, but it's normal. Like I get it every time I fight. It's just, and you deal with it. And then you know, fighters that haven't experienced maybe the big stage like that and first time, they don't know how to deal with it yet. You know what I mean? They're just like overcome. They're just like, I don't know how to do, you know. So, but as they go on, it gets more normal, but they still have that feeling. They're just able to acknowledge that it's normal. I'm always gonna feel like this, and I've been here before, so it's cool, you know. But you still have a feeling. It's never. You don't just go in a fight just dead soul. You know what I mean? Like you're just like, I don't know.
Unless you're like a young guy getting propped up, because you see those and I'm like, oh yeah, this guy knows he's gonna win. Like the UFC knows he's gonna win too. You know those young guys who they gave like a Bo Nickel with his first couple fights. I feel
Oh
like
yeah,
nerves
yeah,
aren't that
yeah,
high for that, but with a real fight, of course you're gonna have nerves.
yeah.
Yeah,
But even I mean, don't even give me like even with him though. You know what I mean? Like it's still a fight. You
still
still
fight.
have you still have a weird fucking even if the guy sucks, you know, he's still coming out weird at you, you know what I mean? So there's still
True.
worries.
And
Yeah.
then you see that one guy, you see the guy who was getting cornered by like the female, and then he got knocked out in boxing.
No.
Oh, it was like a viral clip. Like, you had to have probably seen it, but in boxing recently, there are these two guys, and one was like a jobber, the other one was like a prospect, and then he
Mhm.
got knocked out by the jobber, who was like 22 and like or 20 and like 22 or something like that. And
Jeez.
then what was funny is that they had his corner like on screen while it was happening, and she's like a woman, and she's like walk into it, and then like boom, he got caught with the left hook. But I was saying like the jobber sometimes wins, right? So it's always going to be nerves.
No, for sure. Damn, I had a bet on that fight.
I know, right?
Have you ever seen boxing odds before?
Yeah, they're like plus like 1100.
Dude, they're so crazy. I seen like one at like 2,800. Like it's
Right.
nuts. Yeah.
That one kid Ashton Silv from Long Beach, if you're familiar.
Mm-mm.
Okay, he's from Long Beach. One of Jake Paul's guys that he's like kind of
Okay.
promoting. He got
Uh-huh.
knocked out, but he was another one of those that happened this year. Big favorite. If you would have bet on him, you would or
Mm.
on his opponent, you would have made some serious money.
Oh man.
Yeah.
I need to stop paying attention.
Maybe bet against like one of Bo Nichols' opponents or something like that. He's got
Yeah, I
those
know.
crazy
Just a
boxing
little bit.
odds.
Yeah.
Right. Okay, so what's the deal? Are you a free agent now or what?
Not yet. You
That's
know,
what
I
I
think
thought, because there's a matching period or something, or like a negotiating period.
yeah, there's like exclusive negotiation rights period. So I got a little bit of time. I know my team had just started opening up lines of communication with PFL or yeah, I guess you would just say
PFL
PFL.
tour.
Yeah, yeah. So you know, I don't know. So we're still yeah, we're still in talks. but I think the conversation's just starting to happen and kind of go from there, you know.
Got you. So they have reached out, or you guys reached out, or something like that.
Yeah, I believe my team has reached out and they're starting to have like I'm talking about like literally I got told this like 2 days ago. So
Like almost the
it,
day that I hit you up, or something like
yeah,
that.
yeah, yeah. So it's just like it's just fresh starting to like we're starting to have some talks and kind of go from there and see.
Okay, got you. Now I feel like it's a little bit of a complicated one, just because you ended up being a number one contender. I
Yeah.
guess the most obvious question right off the back I'm feeling is like, are you intending to test free agency, or is there a chance that you will accept the offer they give you, or because the free agency gives you all those options?
Yeah, like it's kind of a hard one, right? Because like don't get
It's
me
okay if
wrong,
you
like
can't answer too. I'm putting you on the
no,
spot, so yeah.
no, you're fine. But it's kind of like in one sense, I like Bellator and I like PFL and I would like to work out something with them. But also on the other, it goes on both ends, right? Because not even talking from a emotional aspect of it, if as far they're gonna they're running their business however they run their business, right? And I have to run my business however I run my business. So I think if we'll see, but I feel like if things could have got solved in the beginning before, like how it usually gets, done with, usually fighters resign after their third fight, going on their fourth fight. So their fourth fight is really the first fight on the new contract, you know, and it's kind of that's the thing that stops this from happening. But I feel like on their business move, they wanted to see the outcome of the fight. You know what I mean? So they decided to let me fight out my contract. So then, as far as a smart business move on my end, the only right thing to do is to go throughout the process. You know what I mean? Because they had their kind of chance to, uh, figure out things and get it done before the fight, and they wanted to wait, which was all it's that's their prerogative, and that was their business decision. And then on my part, I think it's probably right. Who knows though? I might not, but obviously probably a smart business move would to maybe test free agency and see because we got to this point now.
Right. And I guess too, like the biggest thing that's going to be a hanging up factor with re-signing as well, like regardless if you want to accept their offer, test free agency, is going to be the fights per year, right? Because they only give you two, but it's kind of a small roster.
Yeah, man. I just want to be active. It's kind of it's a weird situation, right? Because obviously, these promotions are looking for the young up and comer fighters, right? But also on the other end, if you're looking at the guys I'm fighting, these aren't old guys. Like I'm not the. I don't feel like I'm old. You know what I mean? But I just fucking when I start talking about it, I'm like, oh, well, matched up to this person. But at my age, they're not matching me up with other guys my age like that. You know what I mean? So it's not like these fucking two older guys fighting and then fighting on the card, and it's like their special match. You know what I mean? I'm fighting against young fucking guys. You know what I mean? So, and I'm not just like hanging in there. I'm finishing, and I'm looking like the better athlete out there. So I don't know. It's a weird situation because I think that in a normal situation, this is probably a bad situation for an older guy. You know what I mean? Because he might just be fighting old guys, and then the promotions are kind of just like taking care of them, and now so that type of situation. But for me, man, like I was always asking for the young, like give me the young up and comers, like, and if I'm competing with them and I'm beating them, and I'm not like, I'm out there moving. I guess that's what I'm trying to say. I'm not out there like um beating them with like these old dog tricks and that type of thing, like I'm physically out there beating them. You know what I mean? So I think it's just a different situation compared to the usual the usual things.
Okay. And I guess too, like how long do you have or like have you heard, is it 6 months? Is it like a year as far as when they're gonna you have to
I
wait
mean,
for them to like offer you something and you could talk to other people?
yeah, so I think we're trying I'm I want to say it's 60 days from the
Since your
end of your
fight?
contract. Yeah. So
Correct.
it'd be 60. I'm not sure if it's 60 or 30, but I think it's 60.
Okay, because yeah, it's already
But
been
also,
almost 30 days anyway.
yeah. So I think it's one of those.
Probably
I'm
60,
not
right?
too
Or
sure.
something like that.
Yeah.
But it's not gonna be 6 months or something like that. Cause I think the UFC has a longer one.
No. Well, unless they changed it. I think when I left, it was I think it might have been 90. I think. I'm not too sure. But nah, man, I think it might have been 62. But it wasn't for sure longer than 90.
Okay, for sure. So you
Yeah.
have about like most 2 more months, right? Till you
Hmm.
hear something and then you could talk to other promotions. Have any other
Yeah.
promotions like reached out and you had to turn them down or anything like that? Or
No, not that I know of. I know that like with those type of things, there were, because I mean, I'm pretty sure like
they know or something?
the whole industry is pretty, it's a big industry, but it's not. It's like everybody's kind of intertwined. So I'm pretty sure with things like that, they're like,
We'll
no,
wait.
I'm not talking about it. Yeah, I'm not. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, that's why I also wanted to talk about it with you because, like, I feel like if I don't in a way, then it could, like, this whole process could be kind of like unknown and stuff like that.
Hmm.
So I want to get it out there that other promotions can be hitting you up in a few months and stuff like that. You might be
Yeah,
entertaining
yeah,
some
yeah,
offers if Bellator doesn't come fully correct, but there's a
yeah,
chance if
yeah.
they come correct.
No, for sure.
Yeah. Okay. And if you do sign with Bellator, I guess you have a big fight waiting, right? A title fight.
Yeah,
Have you know that guy, Nur Kurmagomedov? I forgot his first name already.
I don't know either.
Ruslan or something, Kurmagomedov. I think he's one of Khabib's guys.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
Yeah.
I did I watched his fight with Jackson,
Damon
but
Jackson, right? Or
yeah,
yeah, not
Jason
Damon,
Jackson.
Jason.
Yeah.
He
But
took
I
the title
watched it.
from him.
Yeah. Yeah.
It was all right. I actually didn't see
Yeah.
it. Is he like striker or more
It was
grappler, probably, right?
it was it was what I thought it was gonna be. Yeah,
Just kind of
it's
a
just
basic
graphic.
fight.
Yeah.
Okay.
Grinded him out.
And he's like 28, 6'1", 13-0. He's undefeated and stuff. So this might be a motivating fight for you to come back to. I was just thinking like it would be kind of crazy if you become Bellator champ, like on the I guess the positive side of like this whole negotiation thing. I think like let's say you
Hmm.
resign, you got a title fight waiting, fucking you becoming the Bellator champ sounds kind of crazy to me at like this point in your career, after everything.
Yeah, I'd be fucking nuts, right?
Do you think about that? Because that's literally like on your doorstep.
No, not until like I try to just think of like one thing at a time. Cause like as far as like things that need to be done. So I'm just always like, let's get this done, and then from there, then let's
Then
move
you'll
on. So
focus.
I mean, yeah.
Okay. I guess this is probably the last one I have for you. When you were watching that fight, when he was fighting Jason Jackson, a lot of times if you're
Mhm.
watching it, you're probably like, I'm gonna do this to this guy. Did anything cross your mind? If you guys cross paths, what could go down?
No, man, like I just when I watched it, I literally just was watching because I knew that he won, but I didn't know like how he won or anything like that. Like I didn't watch the fight at all. So I was just watching to see like what type of fighter he was. And it was just one of those fights where like I just was skimming. I was skimming through like the like the timeline. I was just like I'm just like, oh, okay. Like
Wasn't
it's
anything
just
that popped up anything in your head then?
nothing that was like, oh shit, this guy is crazy. It just grinded him out. It's kind of boring. Not exciting. Not exciting for sure.
Okay, so I guess you're not too excited for a title fight with him, if that's the case.
No, it's fine. Like I just got to make it exciting.
You got to,
You
but
know what I
like it's
mean?
not like you got the
Yeah.
opponent to
But
like
I know
look.
his style, like for sure. Like Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. You feel like you got that style on lock or what?
Yeah, I just got to shut it down, man, and
Yeah.
meet them with some hammers.
Right. Just two quick ones for you if you don't mind. Is that okay?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. You were just training. It's been like a month since your fight. Like, is this typical for you, or are you kind of like staying ready right now, motivated and stuff?
No, it's kind of typical. I just because like when I got my off time, dude, like
I see you
pizza
on the
gets
boat and shit
involved,
like that.
burgers. Yeah, 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 yeah. So, I just got back from having some like I went last weekend, so yeah, I just try to keep myself busy and not eat that much. But I got to stay in the gym. Yeah, I got to stay in the gym because if not, dude, I blow up and then I got to get back down again.
Okay, so it's kind of light training right now, not like training camp, but a few days a week or something
Yeah,
like
yeah,
that.
yeah. Light training, hope trying to we got guys in the gym that got fights coming up, so I'm trying to be there for them and as far as like showing just showing little things and trying to get them tuned up for their fights.
Right. And then the last thing I got for you, when I did the poll, right, about your free agency thing, I put like all the organizations that are possible, and they voted
Uh-huh.
for UFC the most, which kind of surprised me. I thought that you've already been
Okay.
there; it's kind of been checked off. But since
Uh-huh.
you got fans wanting you there, I'm curious, like if you're interested in potentially kind of like maybe even like ending your career there, if you will, or kind of how you feel about a UFC re-signing.
Yeah, man. Hey, this is the thing, man. I'm open to whatever. You know what I mean? Well, I'm not open to whatever. Bare knuckle is off the table. Like that's not gonna happen. So, but yeah, like we'll see how the dice kind of roll. But I would love to work out something with Bellator or PFL. But if that doesn't work out, and we decide to go our separate ways, I'm more I'm for sure open to UFC. Like I didn't leave on bad terms. It was just business wise, it didn't match up for me. So I'm for sure open to it.
Okay, got you. 170 is a fucking Shark Tank. I don't know if you ever pay attention to it, but man, they got
Hmm.
like old guys, they got young guys coming up. A lot of fun fights because you mentioned how
Yeah.
Kurmagomedov isn't that exciting to you. UFC
Wow.
at 170, a lot of fun fights. I feel like so something to consider.
Lot of good fights.
Like that young guy Carlos
And
Prates and shit like that.
I
If you
was
know
put.
him, he's like a Brazilian tall guy. He's
Uh,
surging.
I want to say he had like a pretty good knock. He
Li
did.
Jing Liang,
Somebody.
the Asian guy, Li Jing
Okay,
Liang.
so yeah, yeah, yeah. He kept throwing that damn straight. Yeah, 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 yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that'd
So
be
you
a
got
good fight
guys like that. They're
for
all
sure.
coming up. So
For sure. I would
good
love something
fights.
like that.
All right, man. Well, hey, I appreciate the time, and I'll be looking out for the announcement, bro. So hopefully we got a
Yes, sir.
big signing coming soon.
Yes, sir.
All right, and pay Lorenz Larkin. This guy's been in the game forever. Deserves to
Right
get
now,
paid. Yeah, pay
I
Lorenz.
deserve
Yeah.
it.
All right, bro. Take care, man. Thanks again.
All right, bro. Take
Later.
care.